As long as we have a body, particularly if we're on this planet with this body, with this gross body, and the more subtle dimensions, if our body is more of a light body, it's different. But on this body, in this body on this planet, of course, there's gonna be a constant kind of friction or tension, and then that's gonna be challenging our, you can say, awareness of this inner alignment. Now, the subtlety, the intensity of this so-called challenge or friction, that's going to vary. That's going to vary based on our spiritual practice, our evolutionary journey. How many lifetimes have we already been doing this? All that. Certain karma, certain health situations, environments, etc. Nobody has the same life. Some lives are very challenging, others less. So it's not like there's some beings in outer space and he's like, I'm going to challenge him. These challenges happen through the laws of that operate this existence. And like I said, this friction stuff and law of karma and just all kinds of things. I mean, how are we even going to talk about it? So, like, that has to be accepted. That gives a sense of peace and relaxation just to know, like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen ever in any moment. Like, I don't know. There can be some major thing. And if something happens, you don't know how you're going to feel either. Maybe something happens at a certain moment based on many factors. You're like, you can kind of just let it just go off you. It's like, okay, cool. Or you can somehow absorb it in a way that surprises you even. Another moment, that same thing could happen and you could be reacting in a different way. You could be more stirred up. Why? And see, that's destiny also. That relaxed kind of soberness when something so-called extenuating happens, that's part of the show. See, it's not just about like us in the situation. We have no idea the effects that our lives are having on the whole creation. So when it was somehow dictated, watch Adjustment Bureau, it was somehow dictated that in that moment, everything was supporting that moment to be like that, so that then when something extenuating happened, a family member died, somebody you really loved or cared about, or there was a tragedy, your house burned down, whatever, you were somehow you absorbed it really good. Maybe in another, because you were supposed to, for reasons we don't know. Now, it could also be the opposite. God's will could be that when a situation like that happens, there might be some retaliation. There might be you might be used as a karmic instrument to dish out some kind of balance to that. You see? We don't know. So what is the one that was more fiery as a reaction? Are they less spiritual than the one that was more watery and kind of just let it go through them? See, the mind will judge like that because the mind doesn't understand anything. Not on this level. Mind understands good, bad, black, white, yes, no. See, intuition or universal understanding is more like, yeah, no, maybe, sometimes, depends, once in a while, almost never, but it might. This is truth. Truth is like buried somewhere in the paradoxical language of opposites. Like, how are you going to figure it out? We don't know. So you just let everything happen. So there can be an appearance that your awakening is being challenged. If you don't have a concept, though, about awakening, whatever, you're not thinking about it. Everything's a concept. Everything's a concept. The me, that's where it starts. Me. Concept. Okay. Well, from there, we're going to be layered and layered deeply. Who knows how many concepts? Just whatever. Just whatever. I don't even have to give an example. Just whatever you think, that's a concept. I need to get awake now. I'm suffering. No, I'm suffering. That's a concept. I need to get awake. Okay, that's a concept. Okay, I'm awake. and I did this. Oh man, I don't know. That's not an awakening behavior concept. Oh, this is awakening behavior over here. Okay, good concept. It's all concepts. The pure consciousness doesn't have any form. It doesn't have any concepts. All these concepts start with this feeling that there's a me. And it's cool. There has to be space for that. A big challenge I see with people with this whole spiritual journey is their identification with the one that's trying to wake up. I'm making a video about that too. Awakening is just another concept. But we got to go through that process. That has to happen organically, that realization that, you know what? Damn, even the awakening is a concept. That has to happen naturally. For a while, we have to treat it like it's real. We can't escape law of evolution. Very deep software program for us to exist here. You can't escape that. So for a while, we have to try. Got to try to awaken and align and live a life and do spiritual practices and all that to try to help wake us up. And there's no way around that. And it's a good idea. When we're in this matrix outfit, in this matrix world, you are playing this role where no matter how much you say it's not real and not true, you're playing this role. If we don't accept that deeply, we're not balanced. I like that word better than awake. You see? We're not balanced. Our higher self or consciousness has made it so that we're going to really believe. It's going to really believe that it's this form. There's no getting away from that. There's no getting away from that. I believe I'm this form. I also know I'm not this form, but I also really believe I'm this form. And there's space to have that belief that I'm really this form. And I know ultimately it's not true, but relatively it's very true. And it's 50-50. I like my technique that I coined, which is the spiritual technique. Take a rock or a hammer and hit your head. It's a really good technique. And then it will help bring balance. If you start denying yourself too much, do that technique. And then send me a donation for giving you that technique. So the consciousness that has incarnated into form is constantly going to be testing itself. That's part of the whole program too. Let's create a problem or a disturbance so that then I can overcome it. That's the game. You can't get around that. The pure consciousness is creating that for its own localized, individualized self to experience and overcome and transcend it. That's what it does. This is the game. So there's always going to be some kind of test. It's like consciousness is constantly testing itself. It's like feeling itself out. You're going good, everything's good. Boom, something happens. Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay, I got to remember myself. But the emotions are really high right now. I can't remember myself. But wait, I'm still myself regardless of the emotions. Yeah, it's true. So this whole game can play. Don't try to escape from that or wish that wasn't here or think you're going to reach a point to where that never happens. That actually creates more. That's something to transcend too, that concept. You let everything happen, whatever. Let everything happen. It's not a negative thing. It's a very high level. If it's depending where you're saying that from in yourself, just let everything happen. What am I going to do? I can't do nothing. Like, I didn't create this show to begin with. How am I going to fix it? How do I know what's going to happen? I do not know what's going to happen. We imagine we know what's going to happen. That gives a false sense of security and comfort because the mind thinks it knows what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. Who knew this whole virus thing was going to jump off? Nobody. Nobody knew. What's the next thing that's going to happen? We don't know. Could it be worse? Maybe. Are we going to be here to see it? I don't know. It's all good. He who brought me here is taking care of me and everybody else. Who's the he? Our deepest self. Trust that. Know that. Have faith and know that whatever happens, you're going to be given the power to not only go through that, but even transcend the everything that these challenges bring up in you. This is consciousness. Consciousness wants to keep fine-tuning itself, keep refining, getting more pure, more pure, more pure. That never ends. When you hit avatar status and then you go back into a form, the fine-tuning continues. There's just no end. There's always some idiosyncrasy or something that you can iron out. You see? God's going to make it like that. Otherwise, like, what are we doing? It's boring. I'm awake and somebody else. I'm awake too. What are they going to talk about? All right, see you.